What's up, people? I cannot believe that I'm through cooking the beans and red kidney beans and cornbread. But I cooked it. Now I'm drinking me some bitter coffee. Yep, bitter coffee. Actually, I was supposed to have been finished, but it got kind of cool a little bit. It ain't too cool, but it's kind of like lukewarm. It's real lukewarm. Now, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on here. I'm gonna go on here, and I'm gonna see if let's see here. Yeah, let me. I'm gonna have to go on the account here. Let's see here. Switch accounts and go on. Let's see which one. Spirit, diet, and spirituality. That's the account. Okay, let me go to my channel here, and I'm gonna let me hold on. Okay. What's up? I'm back at it again. Okay, let me go to my channel here, and I'm gonna let me okay. Whoops, went over too far. No, wait a minute, hold on. What's up? Edited. Let me get this religious name up out of here. What in the world can I name this video? What can I name it? I'm cooking red kidney beans and baked cornbread. All right. Now let me hold on, just hold on a second. Let me put this tight in here. I mean the dot. I'm cooking red kidney beans and baking cornbread. Right. Now you all may ask me what kind of seasoning did I put in the beans. I put Cajun season and black pepper mostly. No butter, no oils. And I boiled the beans and then I pulled the water off of them and then I cooked them and put onions. And I put some ready-made cut up garlic, already chopped up garlic in the bowl in there. And that's pretty much about it. In the green season, words that I can't pronounce, I probably show it, you know, before I close the video out. So that's it. So I had to, that's what I did. I put a description, a depicted description title in it. I'm cooking red kidney beans and baking cornbread. That's the title of the video. Yeah. So that's a good way to put a title in. Okay, let me do something else before I okay, it's good enough. I got it in my feed. Now let me go and get this. I mean, switch back over to my first YouTube account. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's all right. Let me. All right. Yes, 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 yes. I want to talk about next time. I'm not gonna do it since I haven't gotten so far into this video or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I should. But when you think of like, let's talk about bipolar, schizophrenia, all those different things. All that stuff. Those things are a plague and a disease that the so-called white man put into our communities. That's the bottom line. All that ain't nothing but a plague and a disease that they put into our community. That's it. I should have shared my, well, that's all right. I'll share it later on. But I'm cooking red kidney beans and baking cornbread. That's the title of the video. So I'll know when I get ready to share it. When people Google it up, they can find it. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up right here. I cook red kidney beans and baking cornbread. No, let me see something here. I better go on Google and do that. Let me just go on Google and do that and see what it pop right up. I am baking red kidney beans and baking cornbread. I said that wrong. I am cooking red kidney beans and baking cornbread on YouTube. Yep, the video popped right up. Even though I am cooking red kidney beans and baking cornbread on YouTube. Yeah, so that's the video type. So let's let me show you this, what I put. Oops, excuse me. All right, I tell you what, let me Google the seasoning up. What is the meaning of BADIA?
According to Ancestry.com, Spanish, Catalan, and Italian, habitational name for many of numerous places called Badia or Abadia, or a topographic name for someone living near an abbey. Spanish Abadia, Catalan Abadia, and Italian Badia.
Okay, let me go back and do that again. Complete seasoning. What is the meaning of SAZON?
According to Spanish Central, ripeness, maturity, and sazon season, ripe.
Complete seasoning, sazonant, complete. That's what it is. Okay. What is the meaning of BADIA?
According to Ancestry.com, Spanish, Catalan, and Italian, habitational name for many of numerous places called Badia or Abadia.
Okay. What is the meaning of SAZON?
According to Spanish Central, ripeness, maturity, and sazon season, ripe.
Assassinate. Assassinate. Yeah. Assassinate, complete, assassinate seasoning, complete. That's what it is. So there you go. That's what I put in the beans. I like to always try to find out the meaning of stuff like this. I put ground black. No, I don't think I. Yes, no, I don't think I put none of this ground black pepper in there yet. But I put the black ground. Yes, I did ground, pure ground black pepper. The other one, it says pure ground black pepper. So I'm assuming that they all are the same. You know, if you smell it, sniff it too hard, it's gonna make you sneeze. That's what I put in there. This is all, and just water. Just boil them with water and just. What I did, I boiled the smoked turkey necks, and I boiled them about a couple of times, and boiled the oil and the salt and stuff out of it. Even though I don't eat pork, That's not pork. Those are turkey smoke sauces. Turkey smoked turkey necks. That's what they are. So what I did, I just boiled anyway. You know what I mean? Because I don't want the oils in the. I want to remove less oil as possible out of. More oil out of them. Because I don't want all that oil in them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So cooking red kidney beans and cornbread. Let me see something here. Let me say it with YouTube now. Cooking red kidney beans with cornbread, YouTube.
Here are some matching videos.
There it is. So my video is entitled, once again, I am cooking red kidney beans and baking cornbread. I am cooking red kidney beans and cornbread. So I just want to make sure when people are when they Google these things up, the videos will be easy to find when you put it in the title like that. If you can Google it up and put it in the title. Okay, let's do this here. Yeah, you can do it. So mostly every video that I do, I think I probably need to do that. Make sure, sometimes I attempt not to put a name on it or whatever, but it's best to put a name on it because people will know exactly what to look for how to pull your YouTube stuff up. Yep. So let's look up Let me look up where does schizophrenic and bipolar and all these diseases come from?
Here is some information for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. According to Medical News Today, bipolar disorder and schizophrenia are psychiatric conditions that have some common traits, but also key differences. Bipolar disorder causes shifts in mood, energy levels, and thinking.
People with bipolar disorder may experience episodes of mental and depression, often separated by periods of relative stability. Okay. What is the difference between schizophrenic disorder and bipolar with schizophrenic features? A person with bipolar disorder will switch between extreme excitement or mental and depression. These shifts can affect your ability to perform daily activities. Schizophrenics causes symptoms that are more severe than the symptoms of bipolar disorder. People with schizophrenic experience hallucinations and delusions. I don't feel, I'm not no, see, what we need to understand, all this stuff comes from, all this is white supremacists. See, we was once a pure people at one time. We became toxic when we started messing with these people, with the so-called white man, because they put all these diseases in our community as a conspiracy. All these things destroy us and separate us. That's why the Most High God tells us is to separate from all these other nations, because what it did, it pushed this plague in our community. Diabetes, high blood pressure, all these things is killing our people on a rapid, mass, large scale. Let's look at this stuff. What parts of the state is more affected with diabetes and high blood pressure around the world? It ain't gonna say it out loud. What cultural group is more affected by diabetes? People of different racial and ethnic groups are more likely to develop type 2 diabetes and heart diseases, strokes. African Americans and Mexicans and American Indians, Native Peacecraft Islands, and Asian Americans have a higher risk for these deadly diseases. Wow. Did y'all hear this? People of different racial and ethnic groups are more likely to, people of different racial and ethnic groups are more likely to develop type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, and strokes. African American, Mexicans, and American Indians, and Native Howards, whatever, Peacecraft leaders, islands, and Asian Americans have a higher risk for these deadly diseases. This is really blowing me clean away. It's affected. High blood pressure, all this stuff. Ask yourself this question. Why is it that all them other countries ain't going through all this kind of stuff? Like all the other nations of people, like the Africans, you don't see that in their community. You don't see that in the Chinese community. You only see it in the so-called African American community, our communities. So you know what that tells you? The so-called African American. Let's look. Let me show y'all something. Let me say something to y'all. Do y'all know what I just read? Do y'all know this is prophesied in the Bible? Do y'all know this? Do y'all know that those curses, that's a curse that is upon us? Let me show y'all something. Let me go to Deuteronomy. First, let me read Deuteronomy 1:1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel, the Israelites, okay? So Moses was given commandments, the Torah, to give to the Israelites. So these laws about health. Let's look at Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7. Leviticus 11. Let's read verse 1, and then I'm going to skip and go to verse 7. And then I'm going to compare it. And then you're going to know who the people who is talking about, the people who it's talking to. Leviticus 11, verse 1. And I'm going to jump to verse 7. But I'm going to show you who he's speaking to. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are upon the earth. Let's read verse 1 again, so you know who I'm talking about. Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat amongst all that are upon the earth. Okay, now whatsoever parteth the hoof and it clotheth footed and cheweth the cud, them shall ye eat. Let's go to verse 7. And the swine, though he, verse 7 of Leviticus 11 and 7, verse 7. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof and be clothed footed, yet he cheweth not cud, he is unclean unto you. And of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean unto you. He's only talking about, he said they are unclean to you. He didn't say he didn't say to the whole world. He just said to you. So that means he's only talking to Israelites. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. And let's read Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments. That means not eating that unclean stuff, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Excuse me. If we listen to his voice, not eating the unclean stuff. Let's read verse 15. Ooh, sorry about that, y'all. Excuse me. All right, let's look at this here. But it shall come to Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass that if thou wilt not hearken, if you will not listen, that means if you don't listen to the words of this Bible, hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Curses shall thou be in the city, and curses shall thou be in the field. Was our ancestors cursed in the field? He said, curses shall be thy basket in thy storehouse. They was cursed when they was out in the field and all that. Ain't we cursed in the basket, in the stove, and all that, and our ancestors in the field, all that stuff. So listen to this here. Now I'm skipping. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with inflammation, and with extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou be destroyed. Now let's look up the word. Let's look that word up. What is the meaning of inflammation?
Here's the definition of inflammation. A localized physical condition in which part of the body becomes reddened, swollen, hot, and often painful, especially as a reaction to injury or infection.
Yep, that's what it is. A localized physical condition in which part of the body becomes reddened, swollen, and hot, and often painful. That's what it is. That's what that inflammation and the extreme burning and with the sword and with blasting and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou be destroyed. Now let's look at verses Deuteronomy 28 and verse let's look at Deuteronomy 28. Let's start at verse 58 through 59. Deuteronomy 28, 58 through 59. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law, talking about the Bible, that are written in this book, talking about the Bible, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God. Then verse 59. The Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, the plagues of thy seed. That means these plagues. A plague is nothing but like a diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure. That's going to go and affect your offspring. And in the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long countenance, and of sore sicknesses, and of long countenance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. And also every sicknesses and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. See what I'm saying? In other words, you notice that a lot of the people in our families, they die from heart disease, high blood pressure, and all that kind of stuff. We get these disease rapidly and stuff like that. Even though I'm talking about this, do you know this is cutting, boy. This is really scary, man. This should do that. Because all this is saying, this is prophesying that these are diseases that is in our community, and it's destroying us because of the stuff we eating, the stuff that we're putting in our food. We going by taste. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's good to have a little sugar or something in your body. That's good. It's good and fine and all that. But sometimes I just eat it. I just drank coffee bitter. What I'm saying to you, I'm not sitting here telling you nothing that I'm not trying to do myself. I'm trying to make changes and stuff in myself. But when you look at this here, he said, moreover, I will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. And also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law. That means everything that you're doing that's not according to this Bible, not according to his word, the words of God, the Bible. He said that these sicknesses will hit us if we don't listen to his word, if we don't follow what he said. He said these things will overtake us. Why do you think most of the people in our family on our father's side, daddy's side, that die from diabetes, heart attacks, high blood pressure? You wake up in the morning and you hear your uncle just died. Well, he died. He died with congested heart failure. All these things is a curse and a plague in our so-called black community. These things is killing us rapidly. So what is the solution? Let me give y'all the solution. I'm not going to say too much right now, but I'm going to come back a little bit later. If y'all have any questions about this, and just put your comments below. It says, these are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel. See, these things, this is only for the Israelites and the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. Okay, let's look at verse 30. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curses which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind all amongst all the nations, whether the Lord thy God has driven thee, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice. That means the Bible. Listen to the Bible. Don't be hard-headed. According to all that I have commanded thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy God has scattered thee. Because you remember, when we got off them slave ships in 1619, when we got off them ships, in 1619, we was sold to our enemy by the Africans. And then not only that, but our children that was on them ships was stacked up like sardines. They stacked us up, our ancestors up like sardines, and shipped us off, got us from the west coast of Africa and brought us to the north coast of Africa. And I'm gonna take time in another video and I'm gonna break down the north coast and all that and tell you about the king of Tyre and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, to put these pieces together so that you can fully understand where I'm coming from, because he said that if we follow him, if we keep his commandments, the only way we get a good understanding of all these things, we have to be following his commandments. And once we keeping the commandments and having the fridges on, like you can't really see, I got those cut fridges in my thing, and I'm not sitting up here saying I'm better than everybody else, because I'm not. I'd be lying if I'm sitting up here telling you I'm a perfect saint and all that, even though the Bible did tell us to be perfect. But I'm not trying to sit up here and act like I'm all that, because I'm not. And I'm not better than anyone. I'm not better than my own people. You know what I mean? I'm not better than they are. I'm not better in that way. I'm not trying to say I'm sit up here and act like I'm better than I never done nothing wrong. I never sinned in my life and all that kind of. I'm not sitting up here. I would be lying. But I'm doing the best I could. And I'm doing everything that I can is to make better changes in my life and be at peace and stuff like that. Because look, man, I don't go around here saying, oh, you know, I never had that attitude like when I was in my teens and 20s. When I was in my teens and 20s, I didn't sit around here and be like, oh, well, I got plenty of time. I'm young. I ain't gonna die. No, I never thought like that, even when I was young. And I'm in my 40s now. I never thought that. You see what I'm saying? So the Lord says in Deuteronomy 30 and verse 3, then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity. Remember what I read in Leviticus 11 and verse 1, who he was speaking to, and then I read verse 7, it was talking about the children of Israel. And when I went to Deuteronomy 28 and I read Deuteronomy 28:1, and then I read Deuteronomy 28 and 1, and I read verses 64. No, I don't think I read 64 all the way through 64. I think I read Deuteronomy 28 and verse 22. And then I took and turned over, and then I read verses, let's see, how far did I read? Yeah, I read, you'll see it in the video, man, and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do, I read all of the 22 where it talking about the Lord shall smite thee with consumptions and with fever and with inflammation and with extreme burning and with the sword. That's talking about extreme burning heat. It's talking about swelling and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's talking about. Okay, a localized physical condition in which part of the body becomes reddened, swollen, hot, and often painful, especially as a reaction to injury or infection. You see what I'm saying? Because we're not doing nothing properly. But he said, he promised us as Israel, if we turn back to him and do what he said, including myself, you see what I'm saying? We can have, we want that, you know, we don't want to be parts of the 2/3 being destroyed, you know, and stuff like that. So I'm warning myself. This is a warning for me, myself, and all of those who are listening to this video. I'm not here to be playing. I'm not here to be playing. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm concerned about my salvation. I'm concerned about your salvation, because that ain't nothing to play with. And when you eat the wrong stuff, people think that has nothing to do with your salvation. But look, I'm here to tell you, don't never let that's dangerous. Don't do that. Yes, it is. It is part of, it's a law. It's a commandment. It's not a religious book. And I don't want y'all to get me confused on none of this stuff. It's not a religious book. This Bible is your inheritance, your history book. Don't let the so-called white man lie to you, because so-called white man, they are going to be destroyed because they ain't taught nothing but man-made stuff, lies and philosophy, according to Colossians 2:8, where it says, beware lest any man spoil you through vain philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men. You don't want to be following nothing like that. You see what I'm saying? After the remnants of the world, and not after the black Messiah, because that's what they're doing. You know how they pushing homosexuality? You can go into any one of these churches around here and you can get married. Why? Because so-called white man is a natural, and the white man and the white woman is natural born lesbians and homosexuals and pedophiles. They all are like that. So don't get out that mindset. You see what I'm saying? Because that's leading you down to the road of destruction. You see what I'm saying? So I'll come back if y'all have any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And if I don't know the answer, I will go and look the answer up. Peace. I'm out. So the video, I really named it I am cooking red kidney beans and baking cornbread. That's the title. All right. But what I'm gonna do, if y'all need any more information, I'm gonna put the rest of the information in the description of what I was talking about how diabetes is rapidly in our community and it's killing the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people. Now I'm out. Peace and love, people. Y'all take care.